Hello everyone, and welcome to another Movie Monday here on Questrified. My name is Sarahfina.
And I'm Bray.
And today we're going to be looking at Psycho 4, The Beginning. So let's get right into it. Released in 1990, directed by Mick Garris and written by Joseph Stefano. Well, he's credited as the writer. He's the writer of the 1960 movie. This movie takes us back into the story of Norman Bates. The film starts off with a radio show hosted by Fran Ambrose, played by one fierce woman, CCH Pounder. The topic is matricide and focuses on boys who kill their mothers. The expert guest is the doctor who examined Norman after the killings in 1960. Okay, a bit of a side note. No one can keep this doctor's first name correct. In 1960, his name was Dr. Fred Richmond. In this movie, his name is Dr. Leo Richmond. And in the 1998 movie, his name is Dr. Simon Richmond. Why? Back to the movie. A mysterious man calls into the show as he has some experience with this topic. He asks to be called Ed. This is a nod to the man with whom Norman Bates is loosely based off of, and that is Ed Gein.
With Psycho 4, they also push into this weird sexual relationship between Norma and Norman. I don't know why they pushed for this, because even though Norman Bates is loosely based on Ed Gein, I don't think Ed Gein was trying to have sex with his mom when he murdered the two other women who looked very similar to his mom.
This was Tony Perkins' last film before he sadly passed away in September of 1992. Although sad, the magnificent Mr. Perkins looks great in this movie and still has the charm and charisma that captures your attention. Norman calls into the show to offer insight into the topic and to threaten that he is about to kill again. This gets Fran's attention. Norman recounts the women that he killed after killing his mother. The first one discussed is a young woman who comes off as promiscuous. She disobeys a young Norman, played by Henry Thomas, and sneaks into his house. They start to fool around and Norman leaves to check on his sleeping mother. The girl gets restless and heads into Norman's mother's room. Norman comes out of the closet, no pun intended, and stabs the girl to death while dressed as his mother. We see that Norman's mother is already stuffed. The purpose of this movie is serving as a prequel before prequels were a big thing. In many instances, it's telling Norman's origin, but the problem is that too much is changed from the original story. In addition, the flashbacks are not so good. Henry Thomas did do a good job playing Jack Torrance in Dr. Sleep, but he fails as a young Norman.
The flashbacks, I don't quite understand why they wanted to do this prequel type situation. Henry Thomas, obviously, he would go on to play Jack Torrance in Dr. Sleep, and he does a pretty good job there. He can't really fill Anthony Perkins' shoes as a young Norman. All the very weird and absurd things that happen in these flashbacks, you kind of wonder why they even thought this was going to be a good idea for a Psycho film. To change, like, Norma's age from being a much older woman in the original films to now being 30, 40, and then they had to have the trope of the stepfather come in and try and, like, teach the kid, the boy, to be a man in some of the most absurd ways possible.
We learn that Norman is out of the institution and is married. It is his birthday. He goes on to tell stories about his bipolar or schizophrenic mother, who is played by Olivia Hussey. Dr. Richmond begins to suspect that the caller named Ed is actually Norman Bates. Norman explains that when his mother got a boyfriend, things changed and he decided to kill them both. You have no sympathy for either of these two characters, the mother or the boyfriend. They're awful people.
They don't depict the boyfriend or Chet. They don't depict him or Norma in any positive light. So when they get killed, it doesn't really affect you. It's not like, man, they were good characters who didn't really deserve to die. I think Norman's guy just messed up. No, Norman, I think, seemed very justified by the time it was over.
No, they don't deserve to die. No one does. But you're seeing this from Norman's perspective. The torment that his mother visited upon him. Fran tries to get Norman to tell her who he's going to kill, but no go. He recounts a story of killing an older woman who is hot for him. He gets into the back seat of her car and places a rope around her neck and tells her to drive, whore," in his mother's voice, and he's once again dressed as his mother. He takes her to the swamp and finishes her off. Fran finally does get it out of Norman who he plans to kill. He plans to kill his wife. And why? Because she let herself get pregnant. Last time I checked, it takes 2 to make a baby. Even if a chick tells you that she can't get pregnant or that she's on birth control, guys, you can do something to protect yourself. It's called a condom. However, Norman goes on to tell Fran that Connie, his wife, played by Donna Mitchell, had tricked him and took it upon herself to plan to have a baby, knowing that he did not want that, as he wanted the Bates line to end with him, as he believed it was cursed. Fran tries to talk him out of it, but Norman is committed, no pun intended. Fran tries to tell him that his mother isn't here anymore, and Norman says he knows it will be just him, just like the first time. Norman then goes on to retell how he killed his mother and her boyfriend. He made them a pitcher of iced tea and dumped enough poison in it to kill a herd of elephants. Chet, played by Tommy Schuster, drank it down quickly and went to take a shower. That is all this man did during the movie, was take shower after shower. Norma, on the other hand, has to dance with the iced tea and pour a little on her body and just make a big production out of drinking this glass of iced tea. But she finally does drink some of it as Norman watches in the shadows. Chet then starts to feel the effects of the poison. He comes out, he knocks the tea out of Norma's hand and says, "Boys poisoned us." And then Norma instantly starts feeling the pains of the poison. They catch a glimpse of Norman watching, and Norma says, "Kill the little bastard," and they both try to kill him, but they're weakened by the poison. It's a very grotesque scene with a lot of vomiting. It's just disgusting. He watches her die, and
pop-ups of Chet when he was poisoned as well. That's a little odd thing. He somehow is able to push through the poisoning so many times. He goes down the stairs, he gets up and startles Norman. Norman takes his mom downstairs, and then he pops up again to attack him. It's like, how many times could this man come back to life?
That is his first murder, killing the 2 people he thought was tormenting him. Fran tries to get him to stay on the phone with her even after her show ends because she's sure that she can talk him out of this. But no, he says show's over, and he hangs up on Fran.
With Fran Ambrose, it feels like they kind of just left her to the wayside after he hangs up on her. You think she could play a part in the end at some point? I don't know, she calls the police and kind of, I guess, could find out, maybe Norman's going to take Connie to the house, the Bates house, to kill her or something. But they just kind of, after she is exited out of the film, she's out of the film. They never bring her back.
And then it goes to a phone call with Connie, his wife, and he says, "It's my birthday, I want you to meet me at my mother's house." And he takes Connie to the old Bates Motel and mansion behind it. And it's run down, it's closed, it's dilapidated. He takes Connie up to his mother's room and he tries to confront her about what she's done. She's trying to say, "I count for something. The baby may not turn out this way. The baby will love you." And Norman's like, "What if I can't love the baby?" She's doing all she can to try to reason with him that, give it a chance. Give them a chance. But he takes out a knife and he's going to end it. He catches a glimpse of himself in the blade and he realizes he's struggling. He can't do it. So the minute that he shows weakness, Connie bolts. And I don't blame her. He looks up, he sees that she's gone, and he's like, "Connie!" And he goes to try to find her. And where does she go? She hides in the fruit cellar. The famous place where everyone hides in the Bates house. The fruit cellar. So she hears him walking upstairs, squeaking, and she's going to go out the fruit cellar, the outside entrance. As soon as she gets over there, he rips the doors open, and there he is. He's going to kill her. She begs once again, and she finally does reach him. She says, "No more blood, Norman. We can do this." And so then he decides, "I need to burn down the past forever." He sends her down to her car and he proceeds to start lighting the house on fire, room by room. And as he's doing that, he encounters each person that he told about in this story, in this movie. He encounters them like they're ghosts. He ends up getting trapped in the house. He gets hurt. A beam falls on him and he hurts his leg and he has to drag himself where? Through the fruit cellar to try to get out. Finally, Connie helps him get out. The house burns down. The fire department shows up and puts it out. Norman ends the movie saying, "I'm free. I'm finally free." And and I don't know if he is. This is the end of Norman Bates and Anthony Perkins' story. You wish him well, and you send both characters off into that good night. It's sad, but it's kind of a wrap-up in the same way. He got a second chance, a third chance, I guess, at life, and now he's going to be a father. The credits roll, and you hear a baby crying. And that's Psycho 4, and that's the end of Anthony Perkins' part in the Psycho franchise. Anthony Perkins in this movie is awesome. He tells the story. You feel the pain and the emotion. He exudes that as he's telling them. It's almost like he's reliving them. It's just heartbreaking. CCH Pounder is very good in this movie. I think that woman is a fabulous actor, and she really adds something to it. But yeah, that's the end of this era of Psycho movies. Next week, we'll be looking at Gus Van Sant's Psycho 1998. And until then, please take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.